Hello everybody and welcome! My name is Ryan and you join me about to enter the modern age of my No Specialist Challenge run, where so far, playing as Xerxes, we've managed to absolutely brutalize the map with some insane rural improvement yields. We've had pretty much every special improvement in the game, both from civilizations and from city-states, and now the modern age beckons with an ever-increasing problem. Specialists in the game are very important, and the modern age makes them even more important still. For there are ideologies, and ideologies add crazy yields to specialists, and we're not going to have access to any of them. So who do we play today? Well, there are 6 choices for us: America, France, Mexico, India, Prussia, and Siam. What we're looking for is somebody that can play the zero specialist meta the best. Now, so far that has been civilizations such as Aksum and Inca with very spammable unique improvements. I would prefer to go for a civilization with improvements over buildings. So, for instance, America has a unique quarter. That's not really what I'm looking for today. This will play better with specialists, and that's not what we've got. France, very similar. The Avenue is incredibly powerful, but I don't necessarily want to use that. And Mexico, exactly the same problem. These are all quarters. Mughal India gives me the option of getting a stepwell. However, they're a little bit awkward. You can't place them next to another stepwell, and they give food to adjacent farms. I don't have any farms. I replaced all of my farms a long time ago. Prussia wouldn't be a necessarily bad move. 2 gold and production on rural tiles is quite an exciting improvement. However, this unique improvement is, I don't know. I feel like at the moment it's slightly buggy. I don't think this is giving me the full benefits, especially in test runs. I haven't seen this building used properly, so I'm avoiding Prussia just for now. I don't think it's necessarily working fully, which leaves Siam. Now, Siam has a unique improvement that can be put on a river, which is a huge plus because so far I have had nothing that can be put on rivers. It also has a unique great person, which is cool, and the ability to instantaneously gobble up independent powers, or at least befriend them with a single purchase of influence. Now, this gives me the option of having multiple city-states under my control, and that gives me access to multiple unique improvements because we've already seen in exploration, well, some of them are incredibly powerful. Looking at you, monastery. I feel like Siam is the choice for me today. We are sticking with the seal. This magnificent memento has been giving me 3 extra gold and culture on every unique improvement. I don't really want to be taking that off right now, but science and happiness, it is very good. I like the extra yields, but we're going to be doing something slightly different. I'm going to synergize with my ability to gain city-state friends, and we are going to be grabbing gain 100 influence when you become suzerain of a city-state. Is it the most powerful one? Probably not, but does it really nicely flow into my benefits and into my strategy? You better believe it does. So, because we had so many temples in exploration, we have unlocked Siam, and that is who we will be playing into this age. Remember the rules. We have to win the game, but we are not allowed to use a single specialist. 0. Zilch. Adjacencies of buildings? What are those? Ideologies? Who needs those? Let's just get started. Now, there is something good that I have immediately seen when entering this new age. We've seen in games that when you go into a new age, your yields are massively handicapped because all of your buildings become obsolete and all of your specialists deactivate unless they are placed on buildings that are currently working. So we're used to our yields plummeting through the floor, but we've also seen another fun thing, and that is that unique improvements, well, the yields don't seem to go anywhere because there's nothing to undo. These are ageless improvements, and my entire economy was built on ageless improvements. I mean, look at all these. They're still here. Sure, the happiness has disappeared on the monasteries, but the yields are otherwise still there. So if we look at the yields, we are still winning considerably by a long way. This is going to potentially look a little bit like a speed run, and that I am very happy with. Still, we have lost a lot of yield for a few reasons. Firstly, our religion has disappeared, which means the monasteries are no longer stacking ridiculously broken happiness, so happiness yield is much lower. Our alliances have disappeared, so we're losing yields on those, and our resources have all disappeared as well, so all of the yields we were getting on those have gone. We're also not in a celebration. A big one was that we were getting huge amounts of happiness and science from our religion spreading around the map, and actually when we left the end of the age, something like 80 to 85% of all settlements on the map are currently following my religion. So I am expecting when we go through and start the age, hopefully, if we're lucky, some of the legacy legacy options might be quite interesting. Here it is, the Golden Age, the cultural Golden Age that we've never really taken before. Retain interfaith dialogue for science for every foreign settlement following your religion. Now, I can tell you what this was worth to me. It was worth upwards of 300 science per turn. I am very, very tempted by that. Yep, the happiness would be really cool as well, but this would just be ridiculous. 2 culture per relic, that's a big number. Science on quarters, Production for settlements on distant lands, again, This is what I think we're going to do. Firstly, the military points. 2 into expansionist, 1 into the militaristic. Then we're going to claim the Golden Age by taking the science for every settlement following my religion. And with our extra point, we will gain a diplomatic attribute point. 1 economic point with our economic point available to us, and 1, 2 scientific points on top of that. We still have a wildcard point. It's worth having a look at the diplomatic tree to see if there's anything in here that we really want. Yields for every alliance we have. Yeah, I think diplomatic is going to be something that's very interesting for us. So we'll grab that point. Confirm the legacies. So diplomatic, we're going to take culture and science, each city-state I'm suzerain of, and then we'll unlock military sabotage, and then we've now got access to this as we get to it. Economic, we've got most of the really good ones, to be honest with you. So let's start taking 5% total. Repeatable is actually a legend unlock here, but that's for treasure fleets. That's not very handy. Expansionist, well, yep. Food in cities per town. This is the sort of thing that stacks like very quickly. Militaristic will gain the 1 war support in case anyone attacks us, and scientific, construction towards buildings, and then gold and happiness towards maintaining buildings just helps you on the age transition. You can see we've gained quite a significant chunk of science from our old religion, almost 200 per turn. That's a huge bonus. I'm really glad we actually got to stick on with that. And Cusco, well, it remains our capital, and we didn't actually get the chance to change it, which is a shame, unless I missed that option. Oh well, let's look at the map and work out where our cities want to be. Well, the first job for that is to then have a look and see which towns are going to be gaining population, because some of these towns are now beginning to become problems. Well, I need to be careful on how I phrase that. Not every town is a problem. Specifically, I'm looking at some of the cities I had that are running out of population space. Towns can be frozen. I can focus the towns. They will no longer gain population after that point, so they won't expand beyond a point I can cope with. I have so many improvements on the map now. These are brilliant. Yeah, it's cities like this. This one, Cole has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 spots left for improvements, 4 spots left for improvements, 3 for improvements. So this is now getting to the point we have to consider not actually growing that further. I always forget how much population you're given on the rollover of the age. Oh, this is the one. Mast. There are only 2 spots left now. 1 spot left. That's it. Mast can no longer grow. This cannot become a city after this point. So we're going to have a lot of buildings that are now obsolete, just ticking away, doing absolutely nothing. And there's genuinely nothing I'm going to be able to do about that one. So let's change it to a hub town now before I get tempted to make that into a city. I would love to make that into another city. I really would. Actually, how much should I get from that? 7 influence. That was really not very good. Never mind. But here's the problem. If this settlement gained another population, we would have nowhere to put it. We would be forced to either make a specialist, thus losing our run, or at least losing the challenge of our run, or we'd have to shift end turn every single turn. And let me tell you, that would be very annoying. Axum has the same problem. Now, luckily, it is still a town. There's 2 spots left. 1 spot left and no spots left. I'm sorry, Axum. I would love to make you into a city again, but I physically cannot. That was worth another 14 influence though, so at least we're getting something good out of that one. Cusco has to stay a city. Where else would be safe to make into cities? That's kind of the point, because cities are going to be very quickly growing. I need to make sure we have enough space to put citizens down. Considering I have 14 settlement, I think having about 5 cities would be a good play. Sousa. Now, we haven't made this into a city before, and you can see the number of tiles we have available here. It's a lot of city growth available. This is a safe city. Sousa. And we want a few cities to spread the food around to make sure that we don't have a problem. Chan still has a bunch of space, I think. Yep, there's loads of space in this place. Okay, city number 3. 1, 2, 3, 4 towers. No, this is pretty full. I actually think Kitu might be a good choice as well. This has got very large space available to grow into the city. So we'll make that into city 4. I don't see many other major recommendations. So we'll keep it like that for now. Maybe we'll settle something this age that can become a really cool city. So our aim is to focus on things that we don't need specialists for and to play into our strengths. We have very high science, very high culture, a big economy compared to everyone else. Actually, people's gold has caught up with me, but our yields are pretty cool. So what I'm going to do first is use all of the future civics, and we're going to rush natural history through to hegemony. We're going to make an attempt at getting artifacts in as many places as possible. I would love to unlock the bang. Of course, we want to do that at some point, but we'll avoid it just for a bit. And we are not going to be building Dogo this run. It pains me, but we cannot. Population at this point would ruin the challenge. So we're going to make a bunch more hub towns because influence is super important for us. Way more important than actually growing out these settlements. One Tile Islands, by the way, amazing hub towns. For whatever reason, they just seem to connect so much better with everything else. Some really good spots down here for big settlements, actually. Got 2 more settlement limit. Yeah, maybe we'll make a couple of cities down there. 183 influence per turn. That's what we need to see because we want improvements, and the way we're going to get that is by using the Siam ability. Suzerain a city-state at a higher influence cost immediately. It's really good. It's a very strong ability, and we're going to be using that as many times as we can. Look here. Look at how few spots my capital actually has for improvements. We might have to start getting rid of a few things, but it's well worth keeping an eye on this sort of stuff. Tech-wise, let's unlock merchants as soon as we can. Remember, in the modern age, merchants can be used without making them travel around the map. It's very handy. So we're going to do that as quickly as we can. I love population giving me gold and production, and I will take culture on resources and gold on cities on the coast. That is all a combination I like. Yeah, 1,600. Now, the thing I usually do, annoyingly at the beginning of every age, I say annoying because it takes forever. We're going to just unallocate all of our resources and reallocate them as we think they are needed. Firstly, we'll have a look at the cities and see where we want to put stuff. Silk in the capital makes a lot of sense because we just get more culture, and pearls gives more in the capital as well. That's fine. Now the rest of the city goods will be put in. As you can see, we have a lot of bonus resources. Let's start scattering them everywhere. I don't really mind what goes where. Axum town. It's weird to see my capital with that much space. Well, it's not my capital anymore, is it? 127 production. Wow. What a ridiculous town. At least it's giving me gold. That's a good thing. Now there are a lot of troops that have made their way to this age because I had a lot of army commanders and naval commanders. Our aim here is to basically keep everyone fortified in my settlements. We're playing defensively today. I don't actually need to take an ideology. That's the funny thing. Ideologies are all about specialists and improving specialist yields, but we don't need specialist yields, so there's actually nothing stopping me here from just never taking one. That's, by the way, 4 fleet commanders full of Ship of the Lions. My navy is huge. Maybe this will stop the AI from attacking me. Probably not, but maybe. Also going to save the rest of my gold because we want to get onto natural history as soon as we can. Explorers and museums, both of these things we need on different continents. How much is an explorer? 800 gold. Yeah, I knew we had to wait for these. So let's buy an explorer and see what is revealed on the map so far. Research required everywhere. So we want 1 on Baltica. We'll find everything on this continent. Then we need 1 on the continent of Europe. You see the explorers are already getting very expensive. 1 on the continent of Mu. You can research there. Then Asia America. We don't have any explorers available to find anything on this continent because nobody's made any museums yet. I think they will though. So I'm going to make the explorer over here and then send you over in the hope that you can find something by the time you get there. Someone will have made a museum or a university by that point. Probably. Now 2 happiness on mountains and 6 culture on natural wonders. We have a bunch of this stuff. So we're going to take off this culture and put on this culture and happiness instead. Yep, the happiness are now working really nicely. And it's all about culture spam. Elective Republic it is. I need to get to hegemony as soon as I can. Or of course, villages, city-states. As you can see, we have a few around us and they're really important for us to find and take over because we need the unique improvements that come from them. I essentially would like 1 of every type. That would be the fun way of improving my collection. So let's start with scientific. I always think scientific is the best way to start, and we'll go for our unique ability. 540 influence. Instantly turn this independent power into a city-state. And here we go. Now we can choose next turn. It doesn't let you choose the same turn. I always used to think that was bugged. It's not. You just have to wait. So in order to find the first wave of artifacts, you have to take your explorers to a university or a museum on your continent. Once you then press this button, it will reveal the location of them all for you. Now they could be anywhere on Europe, and you can see there's actually one there and one there. Oh, they're not perfectly placed for me, annoyingly. It took me 11 turns to get over that. Let's see if anything else is a little quicker. Namely, this explorer. Oh, that's difficult terrain, even though it's in my city. I find the difficult terrain mechanics kind of confusing sometimes. Yep, same on that one. Right, we'll discover a lot more next turn, but I don't think there's any harm in buying another explorer nearer to where these artifacts are and just gobbling them up as soon as I can. There are only going to be 8 on the map in this first wave, and we need, I believe, 15 of them, so we have to move really quickly. So here's the bonus. The Institute can't be adjacent to another institute, but it is a really good unique improvement. I'll power my science up massively. We would like to unlock this. I think it still makes sense to go for the 3 technology. We'll do that first, and then we'll work on a second scientific like this, and then next turn we can then pick up the institute. But now we're getting a 3 tech every turn. That gave me food on farms and plantations. Yay! Complete a port for a ship of the line, or improve coal, silver, or gold to get some gold. I like the idea of getting gold. I love gold. Political theory, nationalism, hegemony. We're getting there nice and quick now. Now discover where the other artifacts are. Please let there be more than 2 on this continent. There is 4. Yes, that's handy. Right, you go over to this one where that is nice and close. There's another one there, and then there are 2 on the islands. The island ones are going to be most difficult to get to. Okay, we need more explorers. This is where all of my early game gold is going to go, just on explorer spam. We can get out there quickly if we move quickly. And then on the 3rd continent, there are 4 out of 3 again. Little island, 2. Oh, 2 by Chan Chan. Okay, that's good. Where's the 4th? There is a 4th somewhere. I can't see it. Be useful if there was some button you could press that just took you to them, but never mind. Here. Oh, right, underneath my settlement. Okay, that's really cool. We have options. We have options. I've also unlocked merchants now, so my cities are just going to be making merchants for a little bit. I can make 2 trade routes with everybody, so I might as well, as quickly as possible, get these merchants finished. Academics has been earned, and here is the Institute, which gives me military science. Let's focus on going as quickly as we can to flight, just in case I want to do the science, because we can do the science victory here if we wanted to. Don't spend any of your influence Ursa on anybody. Save it. Save it up, and now we can start building institutes. Here we go. Okay, I'm going to save my gold just for now. We do want to get those as soon as we can. It's mainly just explorer spam. That's the big problem. It's the big goal for myself at the moment. Is that 4 oil in a single settlement? It is, isn't it? Why would one need that much? I don't know, but we're going to start collecting silver. This will make the explorers much cheaper. I should have actually made these trade routes before buying them. That would have saved me quite a considerable amount of gold. 2 sources of silver there. Yeah. How much is an explorer now? It's already had like 600 gold taken off it. I really should have done that in a different order. Never mind. Delhi. More silver. I'm getting so much gold and culture, by the way, for making these trade routes. 300 gold and 150 culture. Remember, I am still Xerxes. It's literally what I do. Let's send the explorer up to there. Another one there. You go down south. It's a simple goal, but it's an easy one to follow. Now, nationalism. What city-state type do we want now? Let's go for an economic. I like economic stuff. Can we find any economic villages? Short answer is no. I wonder if any have actually spawned into the game. That's odd. There are so many and I don't see a single one. Nope, there are none. Okay, we'll take culture instead. Ta-da! You're mine. Our cities are beginning to expand. Oh, actually, this, my capital, that's not good. That's a lot of food. You're going to be a problem. You only had a couple of spots left. How do I avoid you growing? How do we do that? Cusco has to stay on focus. That is the settlement. And then Aksum has to stay on it. Gula Makeda and Sabah. Here, these two. These two are sending large amounts of food. Okay, I've put these two back on food focus, which is annoying for my influence. But hopefully this will add a few turns on. So it was at 400 food, 5 turns of growth. So yeah, we've given ourselves probably about 6 times from that. Oh, this is going to be really tricky. I mean, look. we're running out of space already. Excavate artifact. Let's get this started. Many as we can get. We need all 15 ideally, just by moving fast. That's our best bet here. The open air museum. It's another improvement. Perfect. And we get a free tech as well. I tell you what I can do. I could make cities around Cusco. Yeah, actually, that's not a bad idea. Let's make cities around and spread the pain. If we do that, then there won't be as much problem because the food is just going to get split in multiple directions. Yeah, let's do that. Convert to city, convert to city. Yep, that's brought the food down even more. Okay, cool. The more cities we have, the more options we're going to have to try and get out of this problem. All of my cities are making merchants. That's all they're doing. The merchants are just too good. I have so much silver now. 6 copies of it. It's making my units really, really cheap, and I feel like there's more out there. No, that isn't. We've actually got the world's supply of silver. Okay, cool. Let's start to get some gold in now. That's also a fun resource. Yay. It would be really cool if either Tokyo or these 2 Himiko cities, could you do me a favor and actually make a museum? Because I really want to find out what's going on that continent, and I don't want to have to bother settling it, although I'm now thinking maybe I've got to settle it. I don't know. All the explorers are arriving though. 4, 5 of them now working at the same time. Quite handy. Oh no, more than that. Loads of them working now. We should start actually getting some museums. But we've picked up a bit of gold anyway. Have 5 artifacts, 1 cultural attribute point. I feel like we're going to do that pretty easily. Welcome to the open air museum. You ready to see the yields on this? Look at that. 4 production, 6 gold, 1 science, and 11 culture. Don't forget that all of my unique improvements are now gaining 3 culture and gold plus 3 culture and gold. So 6 extra culture and gold per improvement. It's ridiculous how much more these are giving than my actual buildings. 5 turns now, and we unlock all of the new explorer sites. Yeah, I'm actually going to settle on this new continent. I'm going to settle and force build a city on it. Let's go to that in order to make it a little bit easier. City state, I choose you. There it is. All of the points for Ursa. 5% repeatable culture. Let's start getting this and see how big we can make this number. The Shore Battery. 5 production, extra combat strength, extra healing, extra ranged. Wow, that's a lot of fun. I like that. My first alliance. I reject your alliance. Whoa. Himiko, why? Why? Don't be like that. What am I doing? I'm just winning the game. It's nothing that you need to worry about at all. Actually, we could incorporate a city-state. It'd take 10 turns. No, it's going to be way quicker for my settler to actually sail the entire way across the world. Let's do that. The good thing is if I can't research what's going on that continent, it means that nobody can. So there's no rush. There's an artifact. Here's an artifact. And then there's an artifact. And then there's an artifact. Oh, look at this. Much as the Empire of Xerxes orbits the sun of its ruler, so too does history follow him. I could go close or close. One gives me a cultural attribute point and one gives me a point and a celebration. Well, clearly I'm going to take the celebration. What a strange thing. Building open air museums. That one had 13 culture on it. And institutes. Just for a bit of science and yield. Lovely stuff. Claim the artifact when I overbuilt. I mean, it's just giving me free artifacts at this point. It's like the game wants me to win. And another one. And another one. That's the second point. And another one. Yep. There's nothing else for you to do, explorers, than just chill. Just try and relax for a bit. Why not? Get into the sea. Get into nice central locations that you could move. 2 turns and you'll have an objective again, I promise. Look, Napoleon did get there. Will he get there in time? Will he stop me? We've managed to pick up 11 from the ground in that first wave. I'm hoping that should be the speed we need to make sure we win this. It's quite good. I'm impressed with the speed. I was worried that it was only advanced starts that had this ability to just sort of jump all over the map, but we've been able to replicate it pretty well. Let's make one of the shore batteries. Oh yeah, that's a cool tile. I like that. As many of these unique improvements as we can. I mean, look, there's still a couple of mines that have just made their way over from one age to the other. Normally, it's resources that have disappeared. You just want to make sure you go into every settlement and just one by one have a quick peek. I would like an improvement that went on coast. That is something that I would really like. Not on navigable rivers, but on actual coast. Never mind. This will do for now. A little bit of science is awesome. Yeah, look, I mean, look at these. This run has totally changed how I look at rural improvements. They are so powerful with the right setup. Okay, now we can get artifacts from some antiquity by going back a little bit further. Luckily for me, we have our explorers stationed again on the museums and the universities of the continent. So this green European continent, there are now another 4 to claim, and they are scattered all over the place. Now, luckily, some of them are right next to where my explorers already are. Others are in the middle of nowhere. Right, you head over to this one. You purchase another explorer, only 1,000 gold still. Good thing that's become a little cheaper, and the rest is looking good. Now, the yellow continent will do the same thing. Another 4. There's 1 there. There's 2 over here. Okay, that's good. You make your way to that. You make your way to that. Next continent, the purple continent. Let's research. Another 4. 1 on that city-state. 1 over there. 1 over there. And that one I'm already claiming. Luckily, the explorers are kind of all stood around ready to go. I predicted this might happen. Good. Naval units get more power. Big timbers. What a city-state. I don't think any, to be honest, of the ideologies are going to help in any way. So we're going to avoid them. That way we can avoid taking a big diplomatic penalty with everybody. Instead, we're going to try and get a wonder that gives 5% culture for every civilization I have a trade route to. I have a lot of trade routes. Like, it's all I've been doing, making merchants. I wish I could show you how many trade routes I have, but I can't. That is not a feature in the game, alas. Napoleon is my ally. Okay, we have 1 ally. That's good. Flight. Maybe I should get some projects going now. Oh no, Cusco, you need to stop growing. I don't want to have to force end turn every turn, but that's the last tile. It is the last tile. Uh-oh, 13 turns until my sanity is lost. Now let's unlock the bang. 3 culture and 3 happiness. Placed on a navigable river. It's not a particularly good thing. I'll be honest with you, there have been better improvements in this game, but maybe there's something that improves it later? No, there are not. There are not indeed. We'll just take what we can get. Haha, Napoleon, you weren't quick enough. It's mine. That was number 12. Sucks to be you, friend. He's actually my friend as well, but still sucks to be him. Artillery master. Industrialization boost. Second alliance. Culture number goes up. I think I've got so much gold. I'm gonna start to make some rail stations. Why? Why do this? There is very little reason, to be honest with you. I just like rail stations. I joked for years about the fact that Civ should have a railway victory, and now that it's been brought into the game, I feel honor bound to play with it every single game I can. I think that's fair. I think that's fair. Here we go, the unique improvement, and bam, it looks very, very cute, but it also gives me an outrageously large amount of culture. I wish it did more. I think for a late stage improvement and a modern improvement, you'd expect there to be really cool things happening. It quite feels like that, but you know, maybe I'm just looking for too much. Maybe I expect too much. I don't know. It's just a very particular, precise improvement. Normally, particular things need particularly cool bonuses. Happiness and cities for each city-state I'm suzerain of. I have quite a few of those. City-states is something I'm doing pretty well. Influence for every civilian relationship above friendly status. Yeah, little stuff. Oh, here we go. 3 culture on the improvement. Maybe it does get better. Maybe I've been complaining for no reason. I wouldn't put it past me, to be honest with you. All of the improvements, all of the institutes, they make specialists absolutely pointless. Why would you ever have a specialist when you can put one of these improvements down? I don't know. There we go. On turn 19, we have all the artifacts. Didn't take long, did it? 15 out of 15. Napoleon has 1. I don't know where he got it from, but I kind of want it. So now we need to build the world's fair. In order to do this, we need to find the city or settlement with the most production, or at least the most potential. And I suspect it's going to be my original capital. There's 118 in Kole, which is quite a bit. 135 in Aksum. I didn't want to make this into a city purely because, well, if it grew, I'd have a problem. But seeing as we are kind of near the end of the game now, I will make this back into a city and a 13-turn world's fair. Try and put this onto a tile that's not giving much production. That will do. Only 2 production on that tile. So it says 11 turns right now. There are things we can do to improve that, like building a port. This port will increase the amount of resource slots available. That's actually just brought my capital's production down slightly. I'm doing a good job so far. The department store increases it as well. And here's the military academy. I'll increase it a little bit. Not much. 11 turns. We can improve this. Essentially everything that gives production is in this city now, including tobacco, because we have a rail station here. There we go. 145 production, 8 turns, and only 10 turns until it grows. Although I have done the thing. I've just built over something, moved a citizen, and now it's asking me to put a population down, and the only way I can put it is on specialists. So, yeah, now I didn't want to do this, but now I am forced to press Shift End Turn to basically do anything I can to avoid giving this city a population. Does it sound annoying? Yes. Yes, it is annoying. I can tell you it's annoying because it means that that button is now not doing anything for me at all. Look how many artifacts we've got though. That's cool. Mobilization. There are very few reasons why I really need to be settling now, but I'm going to do it because it makes me laugh. And the amount of population I can get if I just flood a new settlement with all of this stuff. Look at that. That's already on 9 population, and let's make it into a hub town for 13 influence. Yep, very much worth settling. Receive an artifact. Oh no, social policy slot. That'll do. Ah, who am I kidding? I'm already having to end turn already. Give me more food. Another new settlement. Again, just build the stuff as quickly as you can. All of this gives food. All of it gives population, and then immediately make it into a hub town. Another 16 influence. Another one up here. You know the drill. Make sure you use your fishing key to get over to new land. You can continue making stuff. And oh look, another one. That's worth almost 20 that. I've got quite a few artifacts now. That's doing good. Imagine if I was playing as Catherine. That would have been pretty effective. So now only 5 turns. The World's Fair will be finished. People keep stealing tech from me. It's getting a little bit annoying, but there's nothing I can do about that. So we might as well just keep making merchants. So many merchants, always. So Himiko is doing everything she can to avoid being my ally. She's rejected it twice, but everyone else, no, even Isabella, not too keen. You can spam positive relations though by just starting more and more trade routes. They physically can't stop you, and it's quite entertaining. Infinite trade route spam. You're just gonna have to be friends with me, regardless of whether you want to or not, and the World's Fair is coming along nicely. If I'd picked Mughal rather than Siam, this would have been a lot quicker because I could have just bought it with gold. You know, not that I needed to do that. Scholarly network, here we go. We were on 1,000 science, 1,300. City-states, I think, are the most overpowered aspect of Civ right now. Something about them, it's just really nice. Why does Pachacuti really dislike me? Just generally being a numpty. We won't think about it too much. We'll just buy new settlements and again do the usual thing of just building them out ridiculously because we can. Got so much spare gold, it's ridiculous. More hub towns, more of them please. Here we go. Time for future civic already. Turn 27. And just like that, the World's Fair has been produced. I didn't actually get to doing any other competition or legacy path there because it was so ridiculously quick. I hadn't even finished the research tree, although I was very close to doing it. Factories, that would have taken a bunch of turns. The military, why conquer when you can simply dig everything up out of the ground and say, hey presto, HUZZAH has won. Yeah, the modern age right now is ridiculous. That was standard speed, by the way. Turn 28 victory on standard speed with 0 specialists. I think when I started this series, my intention was to create a ridiculously challenging playthrough that rocked against what I thought the meta of Civ 7 was, which was specialist spam. Specialists are so strong and they can be used, especially in the late game, for ridiculous effect. However, I have realized that they're not that good compared to the spam of unique improvements with this memento and leader. My goodness, that was a ridiculous tour de force of strength. And it's the economy you get. The culture and the gold just makes any building in your empire totally pointless. Look at this screenshot. Look at all of the yields. This is all just spam. None of this is actual buildings. Look, a wonder's giving me 4 happiness and the tile next to it's giving me almost 40. And most of the happiness is actually gone because it was exploration where this was the most overpowered. I mean, madness. Redefined. No one did any other tree. That was how quickly I won this one. Oh dear, that was a lot of fun. At least I got some experience, eh? Not much experience because it was just too ridiculous, but we got some. Hey, remember, all of the instructions for how to use the mods can be found in my Discord, as well as all of the Turn 1 save files if you want to play along. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. I really enjoyed this series. I hope you did as well. If you wouldn't mind leaving it a like, that would massively help with the algorithm. Have a lovely day. Go about your day in a lovely way, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye. And finally, a very special shout out goes to Glorious Petra, Matthew Wilkinson, Paul Coffey, Portland, The Nickerman, Daddy Bear Todd, Toon General, Capoyobi Vireni, The Uncivil Engineer, Lillian, Radiatore, Technology Poet, Poppy Dude, Clibben Thirdas, Dayboy91, Mushkin Mandeltort, Pete, Scott Stratton, Major King Kong, Skeptical Bear, Cinnamon Beard, Private Selection, Genoa Salami, Callum Billy, Garrett Gowan, El Truant, Creston, RB Hedged, Burial, I'm Daft, Gooberman, Dr. Bobby, Mixomatosis, NTG Golfman, Indigenous 68, Teddy Zursa, Barnaby Rex, Charlie Bears, Nate the Great, Alex Frost, Mean Penguin, Interplanet Janet, Frankincense Battlezord, Bookaluk 79, Bob Loblaw, Geography Teacher, Juvara, Morax, Sinikush, Echo Bear, Deja Fu, Kovawoo, Legally Trash, Is This Live, Sorted Dutch, Rad Bickley, Shadow of Gaia, Flower Power Bear, Dan Jamo, Buster Blader, Bob Tway, Abstract Fun, Slither Alley, JB Genius, Arctic Fox. Thank you everyone for your support. Goodbye.